Welcome again to another episode of Listening Presence. After 2 years and nearly 200 videos I've shared here on Primal Conscious Explorations, this presentation is, I believe, the most important, at least so far. Why? Because it speaks directly to the root cause of the division, dissonance, discord, and trauma that run through our society today. It is not only about politics or religion or science, medicine, or even activism. It is about the way we become entangled in them, how we take the hooks that are cast before us and then mistake those hooks for our very identity. The truth is this: most reactivity in our world is born from identification with political ideologies, religious systems, medical beliefs, activist causes, or even intellectual positions. These identities are not born in silence. They are shaped and reinforced by the endless stream of media, legacy news, social networks, and even the universities. The messages are constant, and the hooks are everywhere. And once we bite, we feel compelled to defend what we believe we are. This 11th principle of non-reactive intelligence is not a correction or an expansion of the 10, for the 10 principles form a complete path, and they stand whole. But after many months of living with them, this further insight revealed itself as a clarifying seal upon them all. NRI Principle, Day 11. Hooks will always be cast, but freedom is found in not biting. Presence remains whole. This is the practice: to see the hook, to recognize it for what it is, and to choose not to take it into ourselves. Just as the mountain remains unmoved regardless of how people measure its height, presence remains whole regardless of the positions people take around us. So how does this play out in daily life? Imagine you are in conversation about art or music or family, and suddenly someone blurts out a harsh political opinion, or they slip into sarcasm, teasing, insult, or condescension. The old way of living is to feel uncomfortable, defensive, or hurt, and either argue or withdraw in frustration. But the way of non-reactive intelligence is different. We breathe. We anchor. And from that stillness, we can choose a different path. Sometimes the wisest response is silence, to let the remark drift by without adding any energy to it. Sometimes it is to redirect gently, returning to what nourishes the connection. And sometimes it is to state a clear boundary with calmness. For example, I prefer not to talk about politics. Or if the behavior continues, when you speak to me in that way, I honestly feel it is unnecessary and reactive. If this continues, I will not be able to stay in this conversation. This is not reactivity. This is presence with clarity. This is the skill of not biting the hook. And this is where the NRI dojo becomes so valuable. Because in the dojo, we practice these moments ahead of time. We revisit old conflicts and rehearse new responses so that when hooks appear in real life, we are no longer taken off guard. We don't get snagged. The hook falls into the water and we remain whole. That's why I often suggest a good idea is to have a NRI dojo notebook where you write down experiences that you've had with other people, moments when you felt belittled, insulted, or unfairly judged. By writing these down, you can occasionally go back and practice revisiting that moment, not to change the past, but to approach it again with presence. This is an essential part of the practice that I recommend. The 11th principle is a reminder of the real challenge in our time. We live in a world where hooks are everywhere. Opinions sharpened by politics and media, judgments fueled by groupthink, tones of sarcasm or insult that seek to draw us into reaction. They are constantly cast to divide, distract, and inflame. But we do not have to bite. We can remain as presence, steady and free. This is not withdrawal from life. It is a deeper engagement to meet life without entanglement, without being consumed by the noise of opinions or the sting of behavior. It is to walk among others with clarity, able to hear, to respond, or to set a boundary without losing our ground. So I leave you with this. Hooks will always be cast, but freedom is found in not biting. Presence remains whole. May this insight guide you, not only in your private moments of practice, but also in your gatherings with others. May it shape your present circles, your friendships, and every conversation where reactivity would have once stolen your peace. This is the flowering of non-reactive intelligence. This is the path to love without position and the gift of freedom that endures. Here now is a summary of Principle Day 11 as presented in the revised copy of the 10-day practice of non-reactive intelligence practice guide. NRI Principle Day 11. Hooks will always be cast, but freedom is found in not biting. Presence remains whole. Teaching reflection. In life, people will cast hooks in the form of opinions, judgments, and conclusions. They are often fueled by media, cultural narratives, or personal wounds. When we bite these hooks, we may get pulled into arguments, division, and reactivity. The practice of non-reactive intelligence teaches us that we do not need to bite. We can acknowledge the presence of the hook without entanglement, like the mountain that remains steady, regardless of how people measure it. Presence remains whole, regardless of the positions others take. True freedom lies not in convincing or debating, but in quietly abiding in awareness. Morning centering practice. Today, I will notice the hooks that appear in my encounters, the harsh words, the opinions, the invitations to conflict. I will pause, breathe, and remember that I am not required to bite. I can remain whole in presence, letting the hook fall harmlessly into the water. Daily affirmation. I am free from the need to bite the hooks of others. Their opinions do not define me, nor do they disturb the stillness within me. Presence remains whole, unshaken, and free. And may peace be with you.